All right. Episode 147. We're here at Feeney Talks with Friends. My name is Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney. I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people in the community that are doing great things. And I'm very excited to have our guest here. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm good, thank you.
Jamie, the Executive Director of Services for the Supporting Living Group.
Yeah.
Supporting Living Group. That's interesting. I love that.
I'm glad.
I teach third grade.
Okay.
How would you explain supported living group to a third grader?
So we provide support services to individuals with disabilities. We help individuals with disabilities live in the communities of their choice. And we specialize in brain injury support services, autism support services, and elder care support services across the entirety of Connecticut.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. And it was founded by Brian?
Christopher Brisson and his wife, Kimberly Brisson.
Oh, I knew it was Brisson. B.R.
Yeah.
I got the B.R. right.
The B.R. right.
And you have offices in Danielson, Avon.
And Bethany, Connecticut.
Bethany.
Yeah.
No, it's great. I'm so excited to talk with you. Again, our mission is to help children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy. So our missions align.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for reaching out. I want to thank you for your generous donation. And again, I'm very excited to talk with the Executive Director, Jamie.
Yes.
So what you been up to?
Working diligently. There's always a need for support services. There's always a need for developing supports out for the individuals that we provide services to.
Cool. So what kind of supports do you do?
We do the full range to assist individuals to live independently in the community. So 5 miles from here is our Avon office. That's a 20,000 square foot location that sits on 6.3 acres of land. So we've just finished out a whole courtyard rebuild there with Healing by Growing Farms. So there's a big horticultural program going on. Hired an artist to come in to work with some of our individuals with brain injuries to develop a mural. And we're really working on that project at the moment, and it enhances the lives of the individuals we provide support services to. It's kind of the ethos of the agency. It's not just providing in-home care. It's providing a sense of purpose and giving a reason to get up in the morning, especially for the brain injury survivors. Autism spectrum, which really trying to change the way that that's done as well, not just in-home services. We've developed our own clinical support services, and it's holistic care working in conjunction with the parents and the individuals that are on the spectrum.
Nice. Yeah. And so personally, what inspired you to get into this field?
I actually fell into the field. 2010, I was in sales and marketing for a Swedish antiques and interior design company. Shout out to Elise Van Breems. I had just finished my master's degree in community psychology, but the market crashed. So there wasn't many people buying Swedish antiques and interior design services. So I had an option to work for a hedge fund doing HR or a mum and pop brain injury organization. And I chose the mum and pop brain injury organization because it was in keeping with what I had gone to school for. And the first day I was working with the organization, I sat down with one of their clients and noticed they had scars in exactly the same places that I do. Back in, it was probably 2019, wrong place at the wrong time. I was visiting England. I used to go back every summer, and I was a victim of a pretty significant assault. I got hit with lumps of iron, woke up in hospital, was very, very lucky to be alive. They kept me in hospital for almost a month. They wouldn't let me fly back to start college because they were worried about intracranial pressure and bleeding. And nobody had really gone into the whole brain injury piece. And then sitting down with that one service participant that day made me realize this is where I needed to be and what I needed to do. Having that mindset has been successful for me, from wanting to make sure that how I would want services to be for myself or a family member.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's serious. That's crazy. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Crazy, but you're giving back, and you walked in the shoes and you have empathy with the people that you're working with.
Yeah. And it makes a big difference to those individuals as well, and seeing how people progress over a period of time. Some individuals have followed me in terms of where I've been professionally since that point. So I've been able to see the growth and how they've really, really developed a sense of purpose and rediscovered who they are after their injuries.
Yeah, because you have the degrees in psychology
Yeah.
from the University of East London.
Yep, I've got an undergraduate degree from the University of East London and then a master's degree from the University of New Haven.
New Haven.
Yeah.
I went to Southern.
Okay.
Very nice. So practically brothers.
Practically. Close.
New Haven. How long were you there?
University of New Haven master's degree. I think I was there 3 years and then went on to I had to take some additional classes for my licensed professional counselor's qualification at Central Connecticut State.
Okay.
So I've been around a few of the state universities.
Yeah, I have a undergraduate in sociology and a major in sociology, a minor in psychology.
Okay.
So very interesting classes. And then I got a master's in elementary ed.
Nice.
And then as an educator, you can get a 6-year degree in administration and supervision to be a principal.
Okay.
So I have that too.
I did an internship as part of my master's degree program in the guidance department
Nice.
at Wilbur Cross.
Okay.
So that was eye-opening and definitely taught me some things and showed me the importance of giving back. There was a wonderful gentleman there, non-profit guy as well, Larry Conway, who actually developed the Children's and Family Center in New Haven, who was very inspirational during that period of time for me.
No, nice. Yeah, I love New Haven.
Yeah.
So happy that we lived there. I met my wife, found out we're having twins, so we moved to West Hartford. Yeah. And here we are. That's great. Now talking New Haven, we got to talk pizza. Did you have a pizza spot? Where was your go-to?
Well, that's interesting. Now I live in Wallingford.
Okay.
Crisco's is very, very good.
Okay.
I mean, Pepe's in New Haven is always is the go-to.
Yeah.
That's the spot I got.
I think I heard good things about this Crisco's.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah. The guy, the Barstool guy did that.
Yep, the Barstool guy went there. There's 3 brothers. They all own different ones.
Yeah.
That's the closest one to me, and that's the one
Is that Foucault's in Cheshire?
Yep.
Luna in Naugatuck.
Yep. And then
Christos in Wallingford.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're known as the Three Kings.
The Three Kings. And you'll see that on their pizza boxes. All of them are great. I really do like all 3 of them, but Crisco's has my heart because it's close and they've got some very, very good pizza.
Are there a picture of them on the box?
Yeah,
right.
the
box. Caricatures with 3 of the guys.
Yeah, in black and white.
They're characters too.
They're characters. Yeah,
they probably make a good podcast guest.
I think they would get those 3 in.
Let's get them on the Three Kings. Talk to them. Show them this. What minute are we in? We're going to show the Crisco guy. 7.5. That's great. No, that's so cool. And we have a common friend, and I want to thank him for making the connection. Do you want to talk about our friend?
Jonah Francis of Pansy Home Care. Jonah, I have to say, is probably the nicest guy in the home care field. We worked together a little bit on the Connecticut Medicaid DSS committee for the Home Care Association of America in the Connecticut chapter. So we kind of interact there a little bit, and he's been great. When we moved into the home care market, we were a little bit concerned that we would be looked at as a major competitor. And in the brain injury field in Connecticut, it's a very competitive marketplace. People don't play nicely. It's interesting. So then to move into the home care market, Jonah was just so friendly, offering advice, because there were some things that we were kind of scratching our head around. And Jonah was open, sat down, had a conversation. It was a very, very pleasant surprise. Yeah,
I had a great time talking with Jonah. Episode 112.
Yeah.
112, where the players dwell. That's a little saying. It's a band. 112 is a band. So he said that multiple times on the podcast. But thank you for the connection, Jonah. So our motto: be a good friend.
Yeah.
Hold the door. Pick up trash. Give compliments and be charitable.
Yeah.
What makes Jonah a good friend?
I think Jonah's always willing to help with advice. If we have questions, he's willing to be completely transparent. And as I said, it could be an environment where he identified himself as a competitor. He saw us as a threat. That wasn't the case.
Yep.
Jonah was very much about helping those in need and seeing it as a benefit that we were coming into the space as the supported living group with our resources to benefit the elder population in this area and beyond.
Very cool. So, all right, good answer. You get a sticker.
You. Perfect.
And I also love how your name has a lot of letters after it. So I know MA, that's Masters.
Masters.
C.B.I.S.
So it's Certified Brain Injury Specialist.
Okay.
I got that through the Brain Injury Association of America.
Now, was that a college? Was that through New Haven? Or
No,
was that an additional class?
That's an additional certification through the Brain Injury Association of America. It's an intensive course of study, and at the end of it, you are very well versed in brain injury support and the actual brain in terms of brain trauma and brain damage.
Yep. And L.P.C.
Licensed professional counselor.
Gotcha.
So I hold that qualification as well. I'd worked, that tied into my master's degree program, and then 5,000 hours of clinical services that were supervised. I specialize in trauma, and I've got additional certifications in E.M.D.R and hypnosis, which I link into the brain injury piece.
Okay. Yeah. E.M.D.R. Got it right here. Eye movement desensitization reprocessing.
Yeah.
Now explain that to me.
Explain that. So, traditionally, most people, when you talk therapy, kind of come up with talk therapy, two people sitting in a room and talking back and forth. With eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, it was originally really designed for PTSD, and essentially trauma gets stuck in the limbic system and you don't process through that trauma. So if you're a child and you had trauma growing up, you go back to those moments in time when the trauma happens as an adult, and you attempt to navigate what's going on in the same manner. You don't even realize it's going on. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing uses something called bilateral stimulation. It can be a light bar, like what you see. The easiest thing to think about is KIT at a Knight Rider, that red flashing light that goes back and forth. But you can also do it with your finger, and there's also sensitization where you can do it with ferrotappers or even just tapping on the legs or the shoulders, and also sound. That opens up that processing center and allows us to work on the trauma. It's not directed by the therapist. The individual is reliving or bringing up that trauma and reprocessing through with my guidance. It works especially well with the brain injury population, but anybody who's had any type of trauma, it's very, very beneficial for.
Okay. I had Jenny Elzate. She's a therapist, and we started the podcast doing the tapping.
Okay.
And positive self-talk as you do the tapping.
DBT. So that's a little bit different with the E.M.D.R piece.
Okay.
The ferrotapping, essentially it's all about opening up those networks within the brain and where the trauma is stored. So as you start to open up those networks, then you start to be able to process through the trauma. A lot of the stuff isn't even in conscious awareness. Again, if it happens as a kid, or it happens, it could be a car accident, it could be multiple things that go on. It gets stored away and locked away in our subconscious mind because in that moment in time, the brain couldn't deal with it. So with this therapeutic approach, what ends up happening is it gets released, and the therapist is there to assist you to work through it and then move forward. Some of the most horrendous things can get worked through very, very quickly, far quicker than it would be under, the more traditional talk therapy base.
Interesting. And you host counseling sessions? Yeah,
I do a lot of virtual pieces. That's a second business for me. I'm a private clinician, but I do incorporate that I have the ability to incorporate elements of it into my work with individuals with brain injuries.
Very nice, very nice. And CCH?
I'm a certified consultant hypnotist through the National Guild of Hypnotists.
Now, would I dare let you hypnotize me right now on my show?
I wouldn't do it right now on the show. That may be for that special episode you can see I'm doing live. I kind of, for myself, I lean towards more of the clinical approach to hypnosis as opposed to the stage show. That's very much a specialization, which I let them do that stuff. I do more of the clinical stuff and tie it into some of the elements of the E.M.D.R.
Would you have someone that had trauma, like I'm an adult, say I had trauma as a child, would you hypnotize me to speak to my younger self? Or in the process,
that's the interesting piece with the overlap between E.M.D.R and hypnosis. What I would say is with hypnosis, that's the Band-Aid. With E.M.D.R, you're actually going in there and really you're sewing closed the wound. But I've used hypnosis in that therapeutic capacity as well. anxiety, elements like that. It's definitely the first steps in teaching skills and anchoring points of safety. And then after that, when the individual feels secure enough, we can then go and do the E.M.D.R with that individual to help them clear out the trauma, anxiety, problematic memories, etc. for good.
Wow. This is great. Did I miss anything? Anything you want to share about the supported living group or some of the programs that you do?
I think we touched base a little bit on the arts program. It's truly one of a kind arts program. We hired individuals from outside of the home care field. We hired legitimate artists to come in. We trained them in supporting individuals with brain injuries. And the amazing work that's gone on. If you get a chance to look up Inspire Arts CT, that's the website for our artists where they showcase their work. We have individuals that have amazing, amazing creations. And, brain injury and art kind of tie together because art's all about perspective. And the individuals we support they experience the world in a different way to you and I. So it gives you a window into their world. We have individuals that have had strokes, who have, as a consequence, expressive aphasia. So they have word finding difficulties. But you're able to work with them to create these amazing pieces of artwork where they find their voice again within the work. Yeah. But also, it's an easy access point for members of the public to start to get to know the artists, start to get to know the individuals behind the artwork. And it shows them that individuals with brain injuries are not dangerous. They're not aggressive for the most part. They're just everyday normal people that you wouldn't even realize have a brain injury. That's the big piece with the brain injury component. It's a hidden injury. It's a silent epidemic because people don't realize what's going on. A lot of individuals don't have the physical disabilities that are associated with the standard disability network. So that's something interesting. And the art program has been hugely, hugely successful. And we have that both in our Avon program location and our Bethany program location.
That's great. So Inspire Arts CT.
Yeah.
And you said you're working on a mural?
We just finished a mural in Avon, Connecticut. We have a courtyard in that building space that we just completely reconfigured. We redeveloped it. It's a healing garden. There's an art mural there. Big shout out goes to Aquascapes of Portland, Connecticut, who came in and did a wonderful water feature. And it allows our individuals to be somewhere comfortable where they can be creative. They can take moments to themselves. And there's a big healing garden, as I said, that we've developed there. Healing by Growing Farms is another amazing nonprofit in Connecticut. The owner of that organization, or the founder of that organization, is a brain injury survivor herself. She used to work for FEMA. And what happened was she simply went to relax on a hammock, and the hammock snapped. She swung back, hit the tree, and was never the same again. And after, going through the rehab and recovery stages of brain injury, she developed out this amazing program where she's teaching horticultural skills and farming skills to individuals on the disability spectrum.
Oh, all great things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing stuff. I wouldn't mind. Can you find the picture of the mural? We'll pull it up right here. We'll have it. We're going to show the mural page.
I'll get you that. If you go onto our Facebook page, the Supported Living Group Facebook page, you'll see pictures of the mural, and I'll get that over to you.
Here.
Perfect.
Beautiful mural.
You'll see it.
Stefania's going to add that in after. She's
Perfect.
a magician. Wow, that's great. I have a follow-up question, but first let me shout out some podcast sponsors. We're here at Maximum Beverage. Thank you, Matt Whitney. Maximum Beverage. Thank you, Direct Line Media, Stefania and Dave. Thank you, Luna Pizza, The Fix IV, Float 41, Parkville Management, Brook Golf Law Group, Keating Agency Insurance, People's Bank, Sally and Bob's, and New England Door and Security. So with New England Door and Security, what are 3 keys that make you a great executive director?
Oh, I think listening is an important piece. Not trying to control everything, allowing my management team, the staff, and our clients, our service participants, to have buy-in to the process. And I think always pushing to learn new things and being open to learning new things. There is no one way of doing business. There is no one way of providing support services. Being able to pivot, especially in this current environment, fiscally, it can be challenging. Being open to being able to pivot very quickly and new ideas and philosophies has been very beneficial.
Sound like a teacher. Can pivot, learn new things, be a good listener.
Yeah.
And what was the middle one?
Taking feedback from the managers and the individuals that work within the organization.
And collaboration is key.
Yeah, we hire talent, let the talent do what they need to do. Don't try and micromanage.
Very good. Now, do you oversee, because I saw on the website you have the South area, North area, East, West.
Yeah.
Are you in charge of all of them, or do you have?
So I travel between all the offices. Typically, Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm in Avon. Tuesdays and Fridays, I'm in Bethany. And on Thursdays, I am in Danielson. Kimberly Brisson, the vice president, she sits in Danielson, Connecticut. So she's overseeing that location. And as I said, we've got an amazing management team who make my job really, really easy. I get to be the nice guy 9 times out of 10, and everything's going well. And I get to focus on trying to grow the business and just handling issues if they come up. That saves me a lot of gray hairs.
Yeah, it's the Supporting Living Group, SLG.
Yep.
You can be reached at 860-774-3400.
Got it.
info@sgl-ct.com.
Yes.
Get your info, email. Reach out to my guy, Jamie Arber, the executive director. Now, you were the director. Is that a promotion, or is that just a typo? Or
when I came in, I came into the business in 2017. Chris and Kim hired me. They didn't really have a presence in Western Connecticut at that point, so Chris basically said, "What do you need?" I was like, "I need a building. That's what I need. I can do everything else." And what I found is the people that are meant to find you. So we started to find really great staff members really quickly, and we found a location actually in Plainville, Connecticut. And in under a year, we'd outgrown that space, and we spent a year looking, and that's where we found the spot in Avon, Connecticut. And then the pandemic hit, which was fun. We just purchased essentially $1 million building, and then the pandemic hit. But we were the first agency, social service agency in the state to have pandemic-associated policies and procedures. Chris went out. He had an account with Restaurant Depot, so put together a food pantry for all of our participants to ensure that they weren't going to go without if that issue came up. And we were able to continue growing during the pandemic period. We were very fortunate. There wasn't, for that first year, no cases of COVID occurred. And as I said, the agency went from strength to strength while other agencies were closing their doors.
That's great. That's great. Where in Avon is it located? I know it says Simsbury Road, but where?
147 Simsbury Road, right across the way from the Commons. You can't miss the building. It's
up past the new Walmart and all that, or no?
No, you're going to take as you're going towards that, you're going to take a right where the post office is, heading down towards Simsbury. And it's right there opposite where the Commons are. Beautiful building. We're very, very fortunate. We were able also to secure housing on those grounds. That's another thing that we do that's very different to a lot of the other companies out there, that we assist our individuals to live as independently as possible in affordable housing. Especially in the current market, affordable housing is not really there anymore. So we've gone out of our way to try and do that for individuals, accessible, affordable, and well-maintained.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the mission of SGL?
SLG, the mission would be to, it's to help individuals to live the best life possible. I mean, that's really it, to be as independent as possible in the communities of their choice.
Yep.
That's what we try to do each and every day. Each individual that comes in, we create person-centered programming based around their needs rather than our needs. And if we keep that in mind, I think that's how we help each individual grow.
Now, are you ready for a test?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
There's the culture code. Do you know the culture code? There's 5 of them.
I wrote the culture code a number of years ago, but now you have me on the spot. I may need a clue from the teacher at this point. Yeah.
Deal. Do you need a clue on?
Yeah.
Can you? All right. So you're committed.
We are committed to providing the best possible services that we can each and every day.
Okay. You're fixated.
fixated on being the best that we can be.
Okay.
Told you
You strive.
We strive to benefit those we provide support services. True. We strive to be recognized as the best provider in Connecticut each and every day.
Right.
And we strive to continue to grow our philosophy everywhere that we land.
All right. And we believe?
We believe in the ability of our participants to grow, to develop, and to find happiness after their injuries.
And we invest
in our people, in
Mm-hmm.
our participants,
Mm-hmm.
and in our infrastructure and the way that we provide services.
All right.
That's a big piece as well in terms of the owners of the company are committed to reinvesting any profits that the agency makes. Those have shrunk because of the environment that we're in, but back into the programming space.
All right. You nailed it.
I think I did well.
It's a B+.
I think I wrote those in like 2017, 2018.
You got to get those like tatted on your arm or something.
Yeah, that would be a way to do it.
Culture code.
It could work.
No, it's great. That was good. That was funny. That was good. Good stuff.
It was stressful for a second.
No. All right, great. All right, so we got another game. First, last, best, worst. So like a program or an event. And I said SLG.
Yeah.
So your events or programs. What was your first event or program? Your last event or program? Your best one and your worst one. Any order.
I think the best program we have put together, as I said, is the arts program. We actually have an art show going on. It starts this Friday. It's going to be for the whole month, next month, with the Kishi Art Gallery in Avon, Connecticut.
Okay.
Individuals across the state who have sustained brain injuries are going to have their work showcased at the Kishi Gallery. It is a curated show, so only the best pieces of work are there. If anyone is an art collector, anything of that nature, definitely stop by and take a look, because you have an opportunity to purchase a one-of-a-kind piece of artwork and support the artists. This isn't about supporting the agencies, it's about supporting the artists. And for some individuals, that first piece of artwork that they sell enables them then to hold that mantra of being an artist, because you're not an artist unless you sell a piece.
Okay, that's great.
And,
make it official.
Yeah, make it official. And I'm going to be honest, you see the changes in people, because in terms of trying to find a purpose and an identity, the nature of the brain injury is you wake up one day, you could be a teacher. You're driving to school, you get in a car accident. You're no longer a teacher because you can't go back. You're a victim of a car accident. You're a brain injury survivor. You don't want to be known as a brain injury survivor for the rest of your life. So programs like what we offer, and there are other agencies that offer programs as well, enable the individual to find a new purpose and a new identity. So helping that individual become known as an artist is a huge step in that person's life. And that would be probably...
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the best one.
Yeah.
Did you ever have something go wrong or missing?
Oh, programs. Yeah, we've had programs go wrong. Essentially, what ends up happening, we have like a woodshop program. It's an interesting thing because, 5 or 6 years ago, great program, everything was working fine. And you kind of, those individuals that have sustained brain injuries from the older generation, those grizzly guys that were coming through school in like the 70s and 80s that did tech programs and stuff like that. When we get the new generation of brain injury survivors, the woodshop they kind of look at it and they're looking at the tools and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So that was tough in terms of having to, again, pivot, find a new individual who was going to be able to take over the woodshop program when, kind of the gentleman that helped develop that, Mr. Keith Merwin, decided to retire. And there was a period of stress. We had to hire somebody actually from South Carolina. He'd moved into the state very, very recently, and we lucked out. But that was a moment where it was stressful, and we had to pivot. He's come in, he's got his own ideas, and he's changing it up. But that was a moment of stress for me, because we have the wood shop. We've invested heavily in all those tools and all that equipment.
Yeah.
And there was a moment: do we keep it? Do we do something different? As I said, there would have been a lot of grizzly old gentlemen who, and there's some ladies that participate in that program that would have been without that purpose and having to change them over.
Wow. Do you remember your first program?
The first program,
around 2017 when you started.
When I first came in, it was the art program.
Gotcha.
And I think
So that's the longest running program
the
as
art
well.
program with the agency, other programs have changed and developed. Probably the best and most memorable program that I ever had was I developed actually a custom bike shop. We called it the Bespoke program. And we hired, it's actually a brain injury survivor who, had been successful without brain injury waiver supports or anything of that nature. His name was Kevin Hickey. And he came in with actually his brother-in-law, Joe Glasso. And we worked together to develop a custom bike program. They were building mini bikes with some of our participants. And this, nobody else had done it.
Motor or pedal?
Motor.
Oh, nice.
Because looking at individuals, their eyes lit up in terms of the program, because a lot of the time programs before that stage were kind of softened down, because a lot of individuals didn't think that program could work, and it worked really, really well. And it changed the way I think a lot of other provider agencies took a look at what could occur in terms of services. And individuals, that little cluster of guys and girls together were doing custom artwork on the gas tanks and elements like that, building out mini bikes and different pieces. And it was a very, very good program.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's first, last, best, worst. I think we hit them all. Or what's
Yeah.
your most recent one? I think you mentioned
Most recent one is
that's happening on Friday.
We got the Kishi Art Gallery, and then the Healing by Growing Farms collaborative has been very beneficial. Just seeing individuals light up with planning the garden, the healing gardens that we're developing, connecting with Dr. Yvette Ruiz, and then the gardens taking shape. For Bethany, we had a meeting with Dr. Ruiz a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be doing a koi. We have a large pond in Bethany, so we're going to be stocking that with koi fish.
Nice.
And we're probably going to be looking to grow that program where individuals are tending to the koi fish and then selling them as another revenue stream, and developing out some healing gardens there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. That was first, last, best, worst. You can play it at home with the kids. Your favorite teacher, your first teacher, your last teacher, your best teacher, your worst teacher, vacations, whatever, if you're ever sitting around, it's a great game. So you're in the Avon community. Do you ever work with like Avon Old Farms or the high school or the police department?
We've actually done we donated artwork to the police department. The police department are great. Every now and again, one of the clients that we provide support service to may have a medical emergency, something like that. They're there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The E.M.Ts as well, amazing people. They're there. And, the participants that we provide services to are very thankful. One of our artists, Lorraine Pablo, created a custom piece of artwork for the police department, and she also created a custom piece of artwork for the probate judge in Farmington.
Nice.
Who was very, very honored to receive that piece of artwork. She went out of her way. She used to work at the Hillstead Museum before she became a probate judge. Took a day off to show that artist around Hillstead as one of the, that doesn't normally happen. So it says a lot about that individual.
Good community.
Yeah, great.
And the police department's great. One of my good friends is on the job there. Great little workout area in the back.
Yeah.
I did the Murph there once.
It's a great community, all told.
And whereabout is your artwork in the PD?
So
in the hallway when you first walk
I believe
in?
it's in the hallway when you walk in. For the probate court, it's actually in the probate court office that the judge sits in.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. That makes me happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Very cool. Supported living. I know everyone as a teacher, there's varying abilities.
Yeah.
So, and everyone should find success.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're making sure everyone finds success.
That's what we aim to do. And again, it goes back finding that purpose, finding that reason to get up in the morning.
Yep.
Because a lot of individuals, they lose everything.
Yeah.
After the injury, they lose the person that they were. So helping them get back on track, helping them move forward in life is very, very important. And we go back to it, the management team, the support staff all have that motivation, and that makes my job so much easier. And it benefits our participants who are grateful each and every day.
Yeah.
There's definitely a sense of community there, and you see the happiness, you see the joy, and that's really, really important.
Now, do you have varying injuries? Do you have people that are wheelchair bound, nonverbal? And okay.
Yeah, we have it's definitely a spectrum in terms of the brain injury community. We have individuals that are hands-on care. We have other individuals that you wouldn't even know had an injury until you started speaking to them, and after 5 minutes they're having the same conversation with you again because of a one gentleman, it was a road rage incident. He can tell you all the stories that happened when he was a child. Father was a famous film director, lived in the Middle East, was kidnapped multiple times, speaks multiple languages, but in the early 90s he was a victim of a road rage assault. After that road rage assault, 5-minute memory.
Oh.
So, but and working with him, it's you're trying to help him navigate through the day, trying to help him store things in long-term memory, because the short-term memory is so impacted.
So do you have, what would be a strategy? Does he have note cards? Does he have?
There's note cards, cell phones, support staff. Some individuals have 24/7 support services.
Gotcha.
Unlike a lot of other agencies as well, we have our own internal clinical department at the Avon location. So we have a neuropsychologist on staff. We have 2 occupational therapists and a board-certified behavioral analyst. They all work within the Acquired Brain Injury Waiver Program and the Autism Spectrum Program. To benefit the individuals, which is a huge help for us, because if we are struggling, we get to talk to the clinicians who can make suggestions, and they can make suggestions on the fly as well.
Nice. Is there anything our listeners can do to help support your programs?
I think awareness is a big piece. Everybody knows somebody that's had a brain injury.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely recommend, if you have kids playing sports, concussions, take them seriously, because the long-term consequences. And when you're working, elderly relatives, if they have a fall, get them checked out, and be cognizant that, with brain injuries, it can be something innocuous. As I said, bleeds and elements like that. I've worked with multiple individuals over the years where you just scratch your head how the injury occurred.
Yeah.
One of the gentlemen, he was an architect, stood up. They'd switched his office around. He stood up in the new office, hit his head. Just stood up, hit his head, was never the same again, needed 24/7 supports. This thing goes on again and again.
Yeah. Everyone thinks like football, boxing.
Yeah, it's sometimes.
It can even happen on a trampoline.
It can happen on a trampoline. It can happen just for simply falling down. We all fall. Everybody that's ever sustained a concussion, that could have transitioned to a full brain injury. That's the difference. That's the scary part.
So it's like luck of the draw? Or
it's very much luck of the draw.
Oh, man.
I mean, even some of the most famous stories, that Oliver Sacks was an amazing author. He was a clinician. The cold sore virus. Everyone, a lot of people have cold sores.
Mm-hmm.
The virus can spread to the brain. And there was a famous concert pianist who that happened to. Another one that transitioned to a 5-minute memory. He could play piano wonderfully. That never went away long-term memory. Every time his wife walked out of the room and walked back in the room, it was as though he hadn't seen her for 15 years. And these stories happen again and again and again. I think overall it's not, for the listeners, if you see somebody with a disability, don't run away. Learn their stories, because they all have stories.
Yeah, the best is to learn, just to say hello and get to know them.
Yeah.
Be a good friend.
Be a good friend.
This reminds me, The Notebook.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Jonah Francis has not seen that.
It's disgraceful.
Right? Come on, Jonah.
He doesn't want to cry. That's why.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to cry.
I told that story on 112 with Jonah. Like, I watched that movie. I'm like, I don't want to watch this movie with my wife. I'm like, this movie's stupid. By the end, I'm sitting up at the TV, bawling.
That was me. Yeah. My wife had fallen asleep.
Yeah.
I'm crying. Yeah.
So we haven't gotten to the recommendation portion of the show, but see The Notebook, people. Oh, man. Any questions for me? So what experiences have you had with brain injury? I mean, we've spoken about it. I kind of gave you a little bit of education around, some of the TBI stuff, acquired brain injury. Have you had any family members that have had strokes or anything of that nature? So, I fell once ice skating.
Okay.
And I remember like coming to and being sitting on the bench. So I fell on the ice, but all I remember is sitting on the park bench, taking off my skates.
Yeah.
So that time frame of banging my head to taking off my skates, I had no recollection. So that was my, I think, one and only concussion. I played football a couple times and got my bell rung. And then my grandfather had Alzheimer's. So in his house, they would say, today is Tuesday with the date. because he would constantly just drive to church.
Yeah.
Every day was Sunday. So we had to tell him it was Tuesday. So those are my two experiences. I think that's it. And again, working with so many students in the past 22 years, I don't know if any head injuries or something, but definitely a variety of abilities for sure.
You definitely see that.
Yeah. So
and the Alzheimer's piece, unfortunately, kicks in a lot earlier for the brain injury population. Neurological decline happens sooner for the population, and those issues that you were talking about go on top of potentially already occurring memory deficits.
Yeah. No, it's scary. You know, a dad, my daughter, we went to go to the New Britain Rockcats game. My girls were like 4 or 5, and Elsa and Anna were there from Frozen. So we're waiting in the line, and, you know, they're playing and spinning and pushing. She fell, hit her head, and like blood came down out of her head. And I'm like, immediately, oh my God. You know, do we need stitches? We could check her eyes, or do they look dilated? But
I think we go back. I definitely recommend taking any head injury seriously. I know nobody enjoys going to the ER, but take it seriously. Get the kids checked out. All the kids play sports, and it's also trying to move away from that mentality of like man up and carry on playing. You know, growing up in the 80s, that's kind of my father was famous for frozen peas. And even though we had universal health care, nobody went to the hospital. It was frozen peas thrown on stuff. Knowing what I do now, I should have gone to the hospital quite a few times to get just checked out.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend that. I understand nobody wants to sit in the as I said, ER for a few hours, but it makes sense to do.
Speaking of your injury, do you have any scars or anything?
Yeah, I have a piece of my scalp missing, and I have a scar across the front of my head, over the top of my eye. When I hit the floor, the guys that did it were kicking me as well in the head. My friend had to come back and lay over the top of me. I woke up in hospital, in a room, and I can remember my mum and dad were there. And my dad was like, he's got a hole in his head. What happened? But there was a whole conversation that happened like with the EMTs. I don't remember at all. Similar to your story, my friends who traveled with me in the back of the ambulance told me, yeah, you were talking. No, don't remember any of it.
Wow. That's
so
awful.
very, very lucky. And wrong place, wrong time. That's the story of brain injury for a lot of individuals. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. I remember watching a TV show. I want to say it was like America's, what was that show? America's Most Wanted, maybe?
Yeah.
But a woman was on the back of a motorcycle, and some guy like hit her with a stick or something.
Yeah.
Or something like awful act of nonsense violence. But that one stuck to my, I just had that callback of a brain injury. And then she was wheelchair bound, couldn't speak. They go for a nice bike ride. Some guy's an idiot and like hit her.
Takes a second. Takes a second to change your life.
Awful. But, with that negative stuff and that the pain that the person's going through, your company and Supporting Living Group is trying to turn them around and ensure that they have a healthy and happy life and, are become an artist and
trying
find
to support
success.
Yeah, we help other individuals re-secure jobs in the community, not just art-based, competitive employment. We work very diligently with that. And then for the autism spectrum, we do a lot of work we specialize with teenagers and adults. A lot of companies focus on the kids, and the feedback we got from parents in that community is, that's great, but what happens when they leave school? Or what happens when those school-based services are not available? So we do a lot of supports with those individuals to try and help them be successful, find employment, help them link with housing opportunities and elements like that in the long run. So that's a big concern for that population, and there's big wait lists to get services for them.
Yeah. So your boss, we didn't really talk.
Yeah.
We talked what inspired you.
Yeah.
What got Christopher Brinson in?
Well, Chris had worked in the disability support field for a number of years. He'd worked for a number of different agencies, both brain injury based and DDS based, which is developmental differences. And he had decided to start his own, be a private provider. And because of his success in being a private provider, a lot of individuals were coming to him wanting him to provide support services, but there's only so much time in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the supported living group came about. And he, definitely family mentality, working with individuals, giving back. And that mentality really, really cemented him in Eastern Connecticut to be a really standout service provider.
Mm-hmm.
Chris and I had come close to working with each other a number of times. And then 2017, the stars aligned and worked. And philosophy is very similar, wanting to give back to individuals and wanting to support the staff and wanting, if you provide good services, then the company grows. That's kind of how we look at it.
Cool. And then that's a husband and wife team.
Husband and wife. His wife is Kimberly Brisson.
Yep.
She is the vice president. She oversees the billing, which is very important, very detail orientated. I'm like the bad guy. She's like the good guy in terms of when we're having to deal with the state and stuff like that. So we complement each other. Another person who comes from a culture of giving. Her father and mother were very much in the community, giving back to individuals, and she followed through with that.
Now, is Danielson Eastern Connecticut?
Yep, it's on the border of like Putnam in Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Gotcha.
It's a fun drive.
I know it sounds far away.
It's far away. A lot of podcasts and books on tape on Thursdays. I go through and I get a lot of work done going back and forth.
Got to listen to the Feeney Talks with Friends on your way there.
Consistently.
Nice. Thank you. A couple questions. So, do you have a memory of working with someone or seeing someone find that success that kind of gave you like goosebumps? Like you were like, the client was here and then they reached.
Yeah, probably one of my earliest clients. I'll give her first name, Lorraine. When I first met Lorraine, she was very much a class her as Adrian out of Rocky 1.
Mm-hmm.
The glasses, the hat, very, very timid, very shy.
Great analogy.
Yeah, and she likes the analogy. It makes her laugh. And only willing to work on like an A4 piece of paper. And over the years, I pushed her a little bit and come on, you can do better. You can do more than this, because she was really, really creative. She suffered a stroke at the age of 26.
Oof.
Recovering from the stroke, she had expressive aphasia, so word finding difficulties, and left-sided paralysis. She had 2 kids at the age of 26. Those children had to go and live with the grandma, so she couldn't retake on that role. And she was provided 24/7 support services through the Connecticut ABI waiver program, which is a state and federal program, which ensured she wasn't in a nursing home for the rest of her life. Working with her over the years, she is now a recognized artist. She went from working on those A4 pieces of paper to doing 8 foot by 6 foot individualized. Her artwork is all torn pieces of individualized paper.
Wow.
And she creates these amazing pieces of artwork. I'll definitely send over to you. I have it's a copy of a Banksy, the street artist, Winston Churchill, and it's called Turf Wars. It's easily 5 foot by 6 foot. It hangs in my office.
Jeez.
Each piece of that piece of artwork is hand torn piece of paper. Amazing piece. She did another one of the Sex Pistols album cover. That one is absolutely huge in our Danielson location, and the pride that comes from it.
Yeah.
It was Connecticut Green Screen from Thomaston did a documentary on her, a little video that can still be found on her story. And the sense of pride that she's got and her growth and development has been amazing. So she's one that really stands out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. What was her name again?
Lorraine.
Lorraine.
If you look up, you'll see on our Facebook, on our social media, she's highlighted. Her work's going to be at the Kishi Gallery, and it's also listed on the Inspire Art CT page as well. So
she is what's that? Commissioned artist.
Yeah, she's a commissioned artist. She sells pieces independently, and she. We employ her competitively to create the artwork. That's something that we do within the arts program. We employ individuals competitively to create the pieces of artwork, which is a little bit different.
So now she's Adrian in Rocky 4.
She's Adrian in Rocky 4. She's driving the Ferrari. Well, not yet. She's not driving the Ferrari yet, but hopefully one day.
That's amazing. And you did mention The acquired brain injury waiver.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little more on that?
So in Connecticut has an acquired brain injury waiver program, which essentially covers the costs of services for the individuals. It's limited. There's around about 700 people all told on the Waiver 1 program and Waiver 2 program. Waiver 1 is closed. Waiver 2 is open. There's a 6 to 7 year wait list to get onto this program because there are a limited number of waiver slots, and the majority of individuals are on it for the trajectory of the rest of their lives. The state has definitely developed a good program compared to a lot of other states. I'd love there to be more slots open. There isn't at the moment, but it definitely benefits individuals. And it was to assist individuals like Lorraine not to end up in nursing homes, in long-term care facilities. It was problematic for the care facilities, and it was also, it was definitely problematic for the individuals if they suffered their injury at 18. Where was the future?
Yeah.
Where was the hope?
Because the acquired brain injury waiver is mentioned on the website.
Yeah.
So if you're interested or need to, check the website. What's the website?
supportedlivinggroup.org. If you go there, you can jump onto the website. There's a lot of information about the brain injury waiver, ASD waiver, and our elder care services.
And now, do you call them clients, tenants, residents?
Call them. We typically try and use the word participants and clients. They're kind of interchangeable. It's definitely person-centered. If you come into the program, you're going to hear people, we use first name terms.
Gotcha.
They know me by first name. I know each and every individual. That's the beautiful thing about the program spaces. We're all interacting all day long. Nobody sits in an ivory tower miles away, even down to Chris and Kim. They're walking in and introducing themselves to participants, and they know who they are. So that's an important part.
Yeah. That's good. The rapport and building relationships is key.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And then do the participants have a voice and say, like you said, some want to do the woodworking, some want to do the horticulture, some want to be artists. They can participate in whatever they want.
They can participate in what they want to do. They can indicate, I don't want to do this. I want to do something in the community. I want to find an employment in the community. I say to all the managers and all of the staff, we're not there to say no. We're there to support them to get as close to their dreams as possible. And sometimes there is failure, but then it's about helping that individual recover from that and maybe work towards something different. But they're not going to know that, they're not going to experience that failure until you support them towards it. That happens. Okay, now we're going to support you to move towards something different. I think that's important.
Nice. Now, where do you see yourself, and where do you see the supported living group in 5 years?
I think we're probably going to be moving into New York and Massachusetts marketplaces. Nice. It's just, New York has an acquired brain injury waiver program. There is no wait list for that program, and they have a need. Massachusetts also has a program that we've been asked to go to. For myself, my role consistently and constantly changes based on need. I'd love to do more clinical pieces. That's kind of my heart and desire. It's also less stressful. But yeah, I'm always going to be involved in some capacity of program development, identifying new ways to grow. And, with every new staff member that we bring in, every new clinician, there's new ideas. That keeps things percolating in my mind, going to new trainings, elements like that. A lot more advocacy work as well, I think, is going to be important to do, especially in the current climate.
Cool. And is there anything that I missed? Anything you'd like to share?
I think you hit everything. I think you've.
I know our listeners are listening. Come on in. It's the Feeney Talks with Friends podcast. Check it out. Our listeners hear an accent. Yeah. Now, is that New Jersey?
Yeah, close.
Good day, mate. Put another shrimp on the barbie.
A little bit of Australian. I grew up in East London. East London. I was there until my early 20s, and then I moved here. I've been here longer than there at this point. I'm a US citizen. My wife's an American, but the accent never went away. If I try to do an American accent, I sound like I'm from the Midwest, and my wife yells at me, so we can't do that.
You got definitely. So no, that's great. And then who do you support for soccer?
Tottenham Hotspurs is my team. I had a cousin who played for them.
Nice.
My father also played for them back in the day, and when he's in his teenage years.
Awesome.
So there's some connection there.
Very nice. Bloke.
Bloke.
Mate.
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 East London. Yeah.
Is that a mate?
Yeah,
So
it's
is
a lot
it
of
mate or bloke?
It's a bit of both. Most of the time it's mate.
Bloody?
Bloody. Some of that goes on. Yeah, there's a few. We use a lot of Cockney rhyming slang. So like apples and pears stairs, whistle and flute suit, stuff like that.
What's the whistle and flute suit?
Well, whistle and flute. So Cockney
So you
rhyme.
look nice?
Yeah. Well, what it was basically created, that whole language was created by the working class to avoid the police knowing what was going on. So it was rhyming language that was used amongst the EastEnders to avoid people knowing if there was something a little bit naughty going on.
Gotcha.
So as I said, like jam jar car, whistle and flute suit, different pieces like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know elevator's a lift.
Yeah, over there. Yeah.
Mind your head.
On the mind the gap.
Mind the gap.
Mind the gap on the trains. Yeah. Definitely stand to the right hand side if you're going up and down on the escalators, because you will get knocked over if you go and visit London, as we were talking about before.
Yeah, I would love to check that out. I'm gonna go. Okay. Favorite restaurant. This is sponsored by Luna Pizza. This favorite restaurant in the world, anywhere. It could be Connecticut, London.
Yeah, London. That's a tough one. We do like our restaurants. I actually like Artisan.
Oh, nice.
In West Hartford. I do like that.
The Del Mar.
And the Del Mar.
Very nice.
That's a very nice restaurant that I
eat outside and Tiger Woods was just there.
I didn't know that.
All the golfers for travelers stayed at the Del Mar.
Okay. And
my buddy got a picture of Tiger at the Artisan.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great.
Right, that is the restaurant.
Yeah, food's amazing.
Yep.
Newbrook Kitchen is another one that I highly recommend.
Where's that?
That's in Cheshire.
What's it called?
Newbrook Kitchen.
Okay.
Never
heard that one.
You've never heard of that one. That's one you have to sign up to get onto their list, and they have special events all created in front of you. Open kitchen. They actually, this past Saturday, they did it sounds a little cheesy, but it wasn't. It was Murder at the Disco. So it was a 5-course meal.
Yep. And
a murder scenario that was involved in it, but it was a great time.
Like actors murdering people?
Yeah, but it's not.
What's this called?
It's the Newbrook Kitchen. Definitely check it out and look it up. I highly recommend it. It's bring your own bottle, but the chef is there. She's amazing.
It's in Cheshire.
It's in Cheshire.
Newbrook Kitchen.
Newbrook Kitchen.
Yeah, I try to go to all the recommendations. This is a good one. I like.
That would be my highest recommendation.
Wait, can you make a reservation, or you got to get on the mailing list?
You have to get on the mailing list, and they have limited openings. So you have to, as soon as it comes up, you have to jump on. You book your seat, and they're booking typically a month to 2 months in advance.
That's the only way to get in there to eat.
Only way to get in there to eat.
Ooh.
And it's custom menu. All of it is gluten free. And hand created, kind of in front of you with an open kitchen concept. It's amazing.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to so many different ones. I haven't been to Sans Souce yet. It's a steakhouse.
Okay.
That was Brooke Goff's recommendation. The Vulgar Chef suggested Santiago's. I've been there. That was in, I want to say, Massachusetts somewhere. So I definitely go to my food recommendations. So thank you. This is interesting. I like it. All right, so you're at Newbrook Kitchen, and you could eat with 4 guests, dead or alive, anyone in the world. Who are you eating with?
Well, that was there. Anyone, if I could go back, my wife will always be by my side.
Good answer, good answer.
I would,
Smart man.
I've been trained. It's just the right answer to provide. I think I would like Freud, Sigmund. And I think at this stage, because he's so fresh in the imagination, Ozzy, you've got to have Ozzy Osbourne next year. You need some of that. Just for the Sharon at some point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Ozzy.
Oh, because he's an English guy, right?
Yeah, he was originally from Birmingham, and then moved over.
That's right.
Sigmund and Ozzy would be a great pair to sit down and have dinner with.
Yeah. I know. I felt it hurt me more. Hulk Hogan hurt me. Real American.
Yeah, the Real American.
What's your take on Hulk?
He was a character. He was the first. He was outside. It was him and Rocky growing up.
Yeah.
That was my first introduction to American culture.
Rocky 3, Thunder Lips.
Yep. Quickly followed by, what was it, Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
Those were my interpretations of
Eddie Murphy.
Of America. Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Axel
Foley.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, that was it. I can still remember sitting in the living room and watching those shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I had a wonderful time talking with you. I learned a lot about everything that the supported living group is doing. I think you're doing wonderful things.
Thank you.
you gave me all your acronyms, and I just learned so much. And again, it was great to know that there's great things going on and people are finding success no matter their abilities. So just want to shout out a couple upcoming events. We have our Whiskey Fest. Do you like whiskey?
I do.
So we have our Whiskey Fest at Tumblebrook, 6:30 to 9:30, September 27th, hosted here by Maximum Beverage. Thank you to all of our friends at Maximum Beverage. This is our biggest fundraiser. This is our 4th annual. Do you golf?
I do not. You would not want me to. It would probably be bleak.
September 13th, we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All right, so registration's going fast. Get in there. It's at Tunxus. Any closing remarks?
No, I think it's been great. I thank you for your time, and I thank you for holding this podcast with me.
Yeah. Please check it out. Feeney Talks with Friends. We're on Google, Apple, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you could find a podcast. Oh, we didn't even get the chance to eat. We'll eat these mini almond horns from Crown Market after. But shout out to Crown Market. And we'll say be a good friend on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Be a good friend.